Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks so much for watching SOUNDWAVES TV. Shasta here with our boys from Deadly Vices. Back again, by the way. Anthony and Vince. Thank you guys for coming back.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
It's been 2 years. Where you been? Why are you holding out on us? What's going on? Been busy?
I've been a long way away.
Yeah.
5 minutes up the road.
You've been on the other side of town.
I know.
How rude. No, it's good. I went back and I was like, how long has it been since we talked? And it was about 2 years ago. So seriously, it's been a great year for you guys. You had your EP release. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but you're really good. Like you're really, like, honestly, I can say that with all my heart and soul. Like, you know, Dennis and I see a ton of bands, a ton of stuff comes across our desk in our email, and it's really great whenever it's really good. So thank you for being good. Let's start there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're trying to get that out to the rest of the world. Yeah, still that's the challenge.
Hard part.
But yeah, you know, I think for us, like, the music comes first and the quality comes first, and that starts with the songwriting. So we've spent a lot of time, and I think you can hear it from our first songs, you know, to now our more recent songs. We have quite a few that we're going to be releasing as well. Great. So yeah, it's been a progression, and like, I like going back and listening to our early demos sometimes.
Yeah. How these babies
They're hilarious
started.
Because, you know, you were just free to just create whatever. Yeah. And so now it gets a little more, you kind of up your game every time. So yeah, that's fun. I think that's what we enjoy most, is the songwriting part. Mm-hmm. And then once it's time to go, like, make them sound good, we go to pros. Okay. You know, we go to pros because that part's not easy. So I think that's part of it as well.
I remember you saying that the last time we talked about, like, producing this song, that, like, you know, what level do you want to play at? What level do you want to write at? And it's good to know, like, okay, this is our wheelhouse and we do this really well. And then who can we call in to help, you know, do the rest of it or help us with the rest of it? But I think your progression and the pace that you have kept, because you know that's the important stuff, is really good. You know, and the proof is in the pudding. So sometimes patience is key. Mm-hmm. Even though I can imagine that's kind of hard.
Yeah, I mean, that part's getting much smoother too for us. Good. Like, you know, I think it's down to minor arrangement things that are happening in the studio, as opposed to going in with kind of half-baked ideas and pulling it together on the spot. So it's getting a lot better from that perspective. Yeah.
Recently, you did a cover of Alice in Chains, and I will be honest, like, I've always only allowed, like, Toni Molson to do Alice in Chains, like, because that's one of my favorite bands of all time. And I know that was your background, your, you know, tribute to Alice in Chains. So I trusted it before I heard it, but I did go... You know, I, like, held my breath. It was so good. I, like, screamed when I heard it, and I, like, ran it into Jay, because Jay's a big snob like that too. And I was like, "Look at this!" Like, it's so good. But it's brave. That's only, like, some of the best harmonies that rock and roll has to offer.
Well, it was less brave because we picked a post Lane.
Yeah, I know. I did notice that. I was gonna ask you why you chose "Check My Brain." Was that one of the reasons?
Not really. I mean, Anthony sort of floated the idea, but it's hard to go and replicate what Lane did. And why would you? Why would you try? Why would you even bother? But we kind of always have heard the latest iteration of Alice in Chains, and just kind of like, what would this stuff sound? Because Duvall does his own thing.
He does, and does it well.
And he's great. Yeah. But it kind of also leaves room for interpretation. It does. You know, because everybody, if you were an Alice in Chains fan, kind of hears in the back of your head what it might sound like with Lane. Totally. At least I do. I'm always running that through my head. Like, what would this song have sounded like? Yeah. So, not saying that I was just going to say, I'm going to stop you right there. I did hear it. I heard it. I was like, oh my God, this feels like Lane. Like, I had to go back in my own personal timeline and go, when did this song come out? This is definitely Will. Like, I did that. I checked myself. So, mission accomplished, if that's what you were going for. Well, that's cool. Very flattering.
Yeah, it is, because I love Lane. He's a king to me. Like, God. So, definitely. Well done.
Yeah, I think I could talk about how that came about for a long time, but I think it was, we wanted to do a cover, and we thought about doing an Alice in Chains cover, but then it was like, you know, a lot of their stuff's already been covered a lot. Yeah. And we wanted to do something a little different, and actually, when we talked about it, and he was like, yeah, it'd be cool, maybe. And I sent him a demo, and it was kind of detuned as well. So we did it in a different key. We did it a completely different lower key. Detuning, which can be kind of cliche. You know, you kind of like the classic sound is detuned a bit, but modern is like way detuned. So he kind of balked at it at first. And then I was like, well, it's got to be different. We can't just play it in the same key with the same melodies and stuff.
Yeah.
So then he was like, okay. And I thought he was sour on the whole idea. And then like a few weeks later, he sent me a demo in that key with his vocal, with kind of how the harmonies played out in the, you know, the one that we put out.
Yeah.
And I was completely blown away because it was, you know, similar, but it was different enough to where it was kind of our own.
It basically like flipped the harmonies. So what was the low harmony became the high, and vice versa, which, you know, it's something different.
Yeah, you put your own your stamp on it. I don't want this to turn into an Alice in Chains interview, but I can nerd out with you guys. I really have noticed there are people that put Alice in Chains in the box of Lane, like, and they like didn't pay attention to anything they did past his death. And then there's so much great stuff. Like there's a song called Drone, which nobody really knows, but it's one of my favorite songs of all time, and it was on their most recent album, I believe. But there's just so much goodness there. So I approve. Not that you give a shit what I think, but I was so impressed. I was like, wow, this is really, really good. Tony does it really well. Of course, he's in Rusty Chains tribute. Yeah. When you decide to do a tribute band, you got to be good.
Yeah.
No
There's some pressure there.
Seriously. I was having a conversation. I know like you guys are around my age. We grew up at the same time and really loved all of that 90s stuff and heading into the 2000s. There's a big resurgence. Today I was interviewing Jordan from Newfound Glory, and we were talking about like the good old days. You know, the MTV TRL coming out of the 90s into the 2000s and how people love it again. Are you seeing that sort of resurgence, that nod back to 25, 30 years ago? Because it works for you guys and your sound, I personally think.
Yeah, it's hard to, I mean, I don't pay attention to it that much because I only kind of know one way that I like music.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's coming back around, but at the same time, it's also a completely different environment that people are listening to music now as well. So, I don't know what to make of it, but it's cool that there's a little bit more attention. I mean, you see it actually more in the way kids dress these days.
That too.
I have to do a double take sometimes looking outside and like seeing kids in what look like Genkos.
And and their docks and totally.
It's kind of unbelievable. So something's coming back around.
Yeah. It's funny when you see like the resurgence of like how well a band like, just off the top of my head because they just recently played here, Creed. I got mocked 20 years ago when I loved Creed, and now it's like come back around. So it's just kind of, we're in an interesting space. Some can say we're so old we're new again. I won't go there.
I think a lot of those bands are like brands because they were so ubiquitous at the time. You know, like Nirvana, like there's kids that don't even know Nirvana's a band. They just think it's a cool
brand.
It's a brand, right?
Right. Or like Rolling Stones or whatever. So I think in that sense, it's cool. What I would love most is for people to discover our music and then discover like we're influenced by Alice in Chains and then go discover that music as well. You know, that's kind of how like I started with Metallica, and then I was like, oh, some of these are like Black Sabbath influence.
Me too.
So I went the other way.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, that's kind of cool. And I think a lot of the younger generation is like, some of this stuff is like old school. If you listen to I have a 10-year-old daughter and she's into Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah.
And that's like, you know, it's like old school punk, pop punk. You know? And so, yeah, I think it is definitely coming back around a little bit.
It's cool. I mean, my son's 9, so very similar in age there. And it's interesting to see like what he navigates towards naturally. Like he's very much in like Rage Against the Machine, you know, things like that. But I did the same thing because in the 80s, like I went backwards, and that's how I found Sabbath, which I was like, that was everything to me. But somebody said something to me the other day. They were like, you know, right now, like looking back 20 years ago, that's like in the 80s, you were listening to 60s music. And I was like, what? 2005? Like,
right.
My brain crunched down. I couldn't even process that.
Like, no, it's not that old.
Because it just doesn't feel, but it is. And it's interesting because I think what you were just saying is like, it's a different world on the consumer side. The experience is different in where you're listening to things. Like they don't,
It's kind of a soundtrack to something. Like it's sort of more in the background these days.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, I hate to sound like, back in the day, but
I know.
It was a major event, and you opened up the CD or the album or whatever it was, and you kind of, there was a mystery to it, which I think I miss. And like, you know, we have to promote our music.
Right.
But I actually kind of hate doing that because it's the image of a rock star. When I was young was you didn't know much about them.
I've said that so many times. Totally. Yes. There was mystery there.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's cool that people like being brought behind the scenes with things, but at the same time, I thought the mystery was good. Quite a bit cooler.
I recognized that when Sebastian Bach was playing out his marital drama on Instagram. I was like, bro, I don't want to know. I don't want to. I want to keep you
TMI.
in this. I want to keep you in this very secure rock star box over here.
Right.
Because social is too much. But I think like part of the experience too, you know, I remember as a kid, I had my 5 CD disc changer, right? And I had
that was high tech.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
My ex-boyfriend bought it because he cheated on me. And I was like, well, I ditched the guy, but I kept the CD player. So that was a fair trade. It was a fair trade. But it mostly had like Nirvana, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains in it. That was my wheelhouse. But I remember like laying on my bedroom floor, and it wasn't like I had a phone. I didn't have a TV. I was just laying on the floor, like listening, actively listening. And I wonder, is that totally gone? Like, are they really like digging in and listening like we used to?
I think in the car.
In the car,
like with my daughter, when we get in with her and her friends, she's like, "Daddy, put on this, put on that."
Yeah,
I think that's the one like still like sacred place for music.
I like how you said that. Yeah.
And then working out, I work out, so we always have music going.
Yeah. Oh,
for
dude.
that. So
do you ever work out without it? Because I feel like I'm amputated or something. Like I can't.
It's rare.
Feels awkward.
Yeah, it is awkward.
Yeah,
it is awkward.
Do you do the playlist? Do you like make different playlists for
Spotify playlists usually?
Yeah. It's good. How would it feel to think that somebody's in there doing their thing and motivating to Deadly Vices? Like that would feel very motivating to me.
Yeah, that would be really cool. And I actually hear from people because I'm more on the Instagram and keeping them up with the socials, and people hit me up like, "Hey, I had your song going in the gym today." Yeah, it's a really cool feeling.
It's cool to be a part of people's lives.
Or like I was cleaning my house today, and, listening to Deadly Vices.
Vacuuming the carpet's motivation. I also have playlists for that. So I get it. All my playlists are very similar, but I get it. What are the goals? It's funny. Again, with the interview I was doing today, I asked him because he started playing music when he was in his garage at like 15. And I said, what was your goal then? Like go back to that teenage brain and tell me what was going on. He was like, absolutely nothing. Like nothing. Like I had no goals. I had no plan. I just was doing it to be fun with my friends. And we played to 2 people, and then our next show would be 3 people, and so on and so forth. And it just feels like it doesn't really happen like that anymore. So when you set out your path with writing, creating your albums and all this stuff, what is that process? Like, do you guys like write out goals like individually and you come together? Like, how does the brainchild come together between the 2 of you?
Well, now we're just kind of on the path, so we just continue going.
Yeah.
When it started, it was just like we had done cover bands, and that had kind of run its course a little bit for us, although that's still fun to do. But it's more just, I want the best version of our original music to be out there somewhere. Yeah. Now, if people latch onto it and it starts to build momentum, that's great. Yeah. But at the same time, like, it would be a major regret if all the ideas and stuff never came together in their best form and made it out there. So that's enough. And of course, it would be nice to actually make some money doing this. But
I love the purity of that statement, that like that's really what it's about when you come back down to it.
Yeah, I think when we first started off down this path, I was in a bit of a hurry. I was like, we got to have this many followers by
everybody's doing that
end of the year, and we need to play this many shows and do this and that. And I think it's evolved to what I realized is like our mission is to make music we love first. Make music we love and just share it with as many people as we possibly can. Yeah. By whatever means we can. Yeah. And if, like he said, if people come and it grows into something bigger, cool. If not, like, we gave it hell. We gave it our best shot, know, and that's kind of, I think, all you can do. And the money side, like, we're both pretty fortunate that, that's we don't need it to pay the bills.
Yeah.
We just do it because we would do it anyway.
Yeah.
We can't not do it. So we want to do the best version of that thing.
Yeah. And some of the music that I had worked on earlier, before this band, you listen back to the recordings and there's always something that was like, the arrangement wasn't great, or the quality of it could have been better. I think especially pretty much all of our stuff, I feel like very comfortable with the quality of it. Now, you could always question songwriting decisions or whatever, but in terms of the end product, it was as good as it could be at the time. And there's a nice feeling to that. There's
something about like finally just saying, okay, it's time to put it out, because you could pick at, Dennis and I talk about this all the time. You could pick out a project forevermore. You're so close to it, I think sometimes, that you just have to release it and go, okay, like, good enough is good enough, even though that's a terrible thing.
And we've also been really fortunate in this particular time frame where I guess, so many people are making albums at home. Some really cool people and really skilled producers and engineers have sort of become available and, been nice enough to work with us.
You guys have had, really good luck there.
Yeah. And that's huge, obviously.
That's a game changer.
Yeah. And plus the experience of doing that too. Like, I think back to the experiences just of making the music and the songs and recording them. Like, those are worth so much because you can't get that in your bedroom studio recording by yourself and, emailing tracks, having a group of people in a room with a mission, when it's, your music that you love and making that thing the best it can be. That's, I just think that's a life experience, each time. So
the lightning in a bottle.
Yeah. Like you said, we've been lucky to work with some really, really great producers, and that if you're doing it yourself, I've found, because we Check My Brain, we actually DIY'd it.
I was just going to ask that. That's your first time that you have DIY'd?
First time. We've done it with demos.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
So that was quite an experience, and it's hard, but even in that case, we hired a pro mixer. Who's also kind of a producer. Yeah. So, I handed off the tracks and I'm like, and we trust him.
So mix and master is like off to somebody else. Yeah. That final glossy stamp is like, okay, yeah.
Because if I had to do that, it would be, we'd be still
going back and forth.
Yeah. But that stuff matters. Yeah. Those final touches. So I think that's really smart to do.
And just having someone you can bounce those things off of and say, hey, is this good enough? Should I re-record this or that? And he's like, no, it's good. Yeah. We'll do it with that.
You guys, it does seem, I won't use the word perfectionist, but probably closer to that term than less. Do you take it personal? Like if a producer comes to you, you have this great song and you come in and you say, here it is, and they kind of rip it apart. I don't know if that's happened, but do you take that personally? Like it is such a personal baby that it gets like you get angry, or do you just go, nope, this is the process?
That's a great question. That is a great question.
I don't think I've ever taken it personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I definitely would. I definitely would. Like, how dare you?
It hasn't happened that somebody, called out this lyric is really cheesy or something. I probably would take that personally. But if it's arrangements and things like that, then typically the suggestions we've gotten are to make songs a little bit more concise or to add a little bit more excitement or spice here or there. Okay. So it's hard to argue with that stuff, because, everybody could be a better songwriter. Sure. Especially as you get older, too, your ego. Yeah. At least mine has mellowed.
Yeah. You give 0 Fs. Like, I think that's where we start heading as we age. The Fs get lower and lower. You're like, it is what it is.
It is low. Like the studio dynamic, especially working with a producer who's strong, they're strong-minded in their ideas, and we come in with our ideas. And when you've heard a song and you've listened to your demos over and over and over, that's like ingrained in your mind. Totally. So they want to change something, and I do. I'm like, I panic a little bit, but I'm like, just let the process happen.
Trust the process.
Yeah, trust the process. And I think, I'm probably more of the perfectionist to where, but I learned from the first session working with Kane Churko was like, he's done this thousands of times. Yeah. Like I've done this a handful of times. Yeah. Yeah. So like, and then like there were certain things I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know about that. And then months later you listen to it and you're like, it's amazing. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't get in the way.
But at the same time, we've never been forced to make like I mean, you're not going to get forced anyway, but
right.
to make wholesale changes to a song, like to rewrite a chorus to do something like that. So it's just usually kind of around the margins, which makes it easier.
More tweaks.
And I think one disappointment sometimes is when they don't pick songs that you like.
Oh, yeah, that you're personally attached to.
You come in with a batch of songs and
we're like, oh, why did they pick the one? And then you're just like, I think with this last round with Machine, we were like, no, we're doing that one for sure.
Okay,
and he came around on it, but yeah, that's always what other people like is sometimes just different.
Yeah.
And
for a million different reasons.
Yeah.
That's, what's hard. I mean, what we do in this industry is so objective. It's like everybody's going to have their opinion on a song. People have opinions on what I say on the radio and stories I tell. Like you can't please everyone, and you have to go with what matters to you.
Yeah, and you think even with the songs that we put out, there were certain ones that I thought for sure would be our biggest songs. Yeah. And they're not. And then the other ones are way bigger, and it's just the moment.
I guess that's why you have to put your baby out in the world and really release it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To just whatever her fate will have.
Yeah, once you put them out, they're not yours anymore.
Yeah, no, they belong. And it's funny because I'm not a musician, so I try not to step into that world and be offensive in that way and try to tell, because I'm married to a musician and I've done it on accident before. But I can only imagine how that feels, because it is in essence your baby. I remember I was listening to that podcast Taylor Swift did with her boyfriend not too long ago, and she was talking about the writing process and like how important it is to own your music, because it came from here and in your bedroom, and these things, those are very personal. Like it's hard not to take that personally, I would imagine, if you're writing from at least that cathartic sort of open yourself up place.
Yeah. And I think you also kind of know, plenty of songwriters talk about this, but like some songs you labor over it could be a period of a year, like getting parts together. Other songs come really quickly.
Yeah.
So the songs that come really quickly, those are the ones that you're more kind of attached to, because you feel like it was sent to you. Right, it was sent to you by something, gods, and you're like, well, I can't change it because it's never been that easy to write.
Totally,
so the ones where you're struggling, you're more kind of open to, all right, well, I suppose,
Like, please take it off my hands.
Yeah, it's funny. We have, even with Check My Brain, we have like so many different versions of all of our demos and songs. And a lot of times, like, I'll have a great idea. I'll be like, Vince, check out this idea. And I'll send it to him, and he'll do his version, and he'll take away all the parts that I loved. And I'm like, and then it's like, okay. But usually, like, when that happens and you find a middle, sometimes it just doesn't converge, and you just move on.
Toss it. Yeah.
But most of the time when you find a middle ground, like we have a song called Monster that we'll be putting out later this year, maybe. That one we have a million different versions, and the verse that ended up on the final was like a bridge from one of his versions.
Oh wow.
And yeah, it's just,
so you kind of Frankensteined it a little bit.
If you listen to the demos, you'd be like, what the heck happened here? But if you compare like the first demo to what we came out with, it's totally different. And then even in the studio when we were recording, we changed a lot of stuff. Took sections out and shortened. And
you always worry about those songs a little bit too, because it's like, if we have this many versions, like how good is it? But then I think in this case it came together really well. So.
I think that's where having the third voice, the producer, to make those calls is.
Well, you have to have that, because you're 50-50. Like, how do you vote?
Right. Right. It's got to be a tiebreaker.
If you ever need somebody to just tie break, you can call me, and I'll be like, I vote this, but don't tell me who I'm choosing.
Careful what you wish for.
I will do it. I love it. Okay, let's do a little manifestation project. So your new album is like, let's just say everything's out into the world, and you get a call, and you're going on tour with, who do you want to support?
You go first.
Go as big as you want. Go as big as you want.
Who do we want to support? Oh my God. Oh man. I'll just go straight to the top. I'll just say Metallica.
Perfect. I love that. I said go big.
We'll take the easy choice. Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That'd make a lot of sense.
But really, I mean, like, I wouldn't be picky. I'd be really flattered if anybody liked our music enough to give us that kind of invite. If you're out there listening.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We're not. I always laugh at the stories of, like, back in the day, Nirvana and Guns N' Roses feuding.
Oh, yeah.
Because I would have just been like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, whatever, I'm
Axel,
good.
you're a douche, but whatever.
Yeah.
Happy to go on the road.
Keep my opinions to myself and let's do the thing.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because you just, it's hard to resist just getting your music out there and like playing it for people who care, because that's so rare, especially today where people's attention is so divided. If somebody's actually willing to come out and listen, whatever.
Absolutely. I can deal with anything.
We'll play with anyone.
Swift, are you out there?
Yeah, exactly. He goes be damned. Let's freaking go.
Yeah.
Jay said that a million times.
We have no shame.
Yeah, no, like, because he teaches, kids and like our age, kids, and Olivia Rodrigo comes up a lot. Taylor Swift comes up a lot. And he's like, are you kidding me? I would drum for them in a second. Like, in a second. Like, just to be able to play those big shows and feel that energy impact coming back at you, even if it wasn't your music, he would still play for that. But to be able to support a show, that's
it's so hard to get on that stage.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine. I just.
It's a limited number of people that get to do that at that level.
Right. Yeah. I was watching when Metallica was here. Did you guys go to those shows at Levi's?
No.
Oh my God. Like, it just, that level of show is on a whole nother stratosphere. Like, it's hard to think about that energy level, and you're watching, and I was in the snake pit and I'm watching in particular Lars, and he's like, he's standing up and he's just like, go, go. And you're just thinking about like all that energy he's putting out and everyone's feeling it, and it's that exchange that makes it magical, right? It's just it's incredible. Music is so in the air and you don't see it, but it's so powerful. It kills me every time I think about that.
Yeah, they've grown to a level that's almost bigger than them. Or
I agree.
It's been for a long time.
It's an entity.
Yeah, it's a whole.
Yeah.
And it's full circle. You got the small kids now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just amazing.
It's a cool thing to see.
I actually met James once.
Did you?
Yeah, one of my good buddies from high school makes documentaries, and James was in one of his documentaries.
Oh, okay.
So they were kind of buddies, and he did a premiere of the documentary, and I think it was in San Carlos, or I don't remember.
Wow.
And James was there.
How was he?
He was cool.
Yeah.
He was taller than me. I was like, dang it.
Yeah.
He was super cool, but he like talked to us for like a couple minutes.
That's so rad.
It was really cool.
All the members of that band to be at that level you're talking about, and to be as humble and chill and like hangoutable as they are, is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, and he was my idol. Like when I was 15, like he was my.
Didn't get bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that fully.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very excited to see where you guys are headed. So what does your release schedule look like? Do you have hard dates, or you're like hopeful that maybe in the fall?
We don't have hard dates. We think probably in about a month or month and change. The first song from our latest batch will be out, and then there will
Halloween maybe.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
And there will be like 4 more songs after that from the same sessions.
Okay.
That'll kind of be staggered every 2 months.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
can't wait.
Check My Brain is kind of the setup. So we put Check My Brain on an album with some of our older songs.
Okay.
Just to kind of warm it up.
Sure.
We've got how many? 5 more coming?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And there's some maybe more outside the box stuff for us. One of them was kind of Oasis influenced, which he hated. But I was able to push through. So.
Okay, fair enough. I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah.
That's a cool turn. Well, check them out. Deadly Vices, one of my personal fave bands. I'm so excited to see what's next. And well done on everything so far. Thank you for being here.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.